Let's review what happens when we change the amplitude of a trig graph. So your normal trig graph is going to be sine of theta, cos of theta, tan of theta. What we're doing right now applies to everything, okay? So what happens when we want to sketch the graph? I need you to draw the table, and what you're going to do is you're going to always start with your basic. So this is always your start point. The yellow highlighted and this needs to be on your table. Your next line is going to be whatever your amplitude change is. So if you have a compound question that has a change in amplitude and a shift or whatever, do it one step at a time. So sine of theta, and I want you to input your values. This you can memorize or should know from memory, and that's going to be 0, 1, 0, minus 1, 0. What is 2 sine of theta? 2 sine of theta is going to be 2 times the 0. So you're going to multiply this line times 2. So that's 0, 2, 0, minus 2, 0. Whereas a half of that is the same thing. It's going to be that times a half. So it's going to be 0, a half, 0, minus a half, and 0. What happens if you have a negative? Your zeros remain the same, but what happens is that you have a reflection about the y-axis. So sometimes they ask the question, what would the formula look like if you reflected about the y-axis and then you give me a negative in front of for the amplitude? Or they'll give you that and say, how does it transform? And it's a reflection. So this happens a lot. Okay, so this means that 1 times negative 2 is negative 2, and negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. Those are our 4 variations. Now let's go ahead and sketch this. If I did, I'm going to do this in blue so we can see, sine of theta. I would start with 0, 0, 91, so 91, 180, 0, 270, negative 1, 360, 0. So this over here is the normal sine of theta. Let's draw our second one, 2 sine of theta. So 0, 0, 92, 180, 0, 270, negative 2, 360, 0. So my amplitude increases because A is bigger. Next up, we have half. Since A is smaller, we are going to reduce the amplitude. It becomes half of 1. So it goes there, 0, a half, and 0. So my amplitude reduces quite a bit. Oh, I didn't label the other one. So my pink one is sine, a half sine of theta. And my green one is 2 sine of theta. What happens if I have a reflection about the y-axis? 0, sorry, I want that in orange, 0, then negative 2, 0, positive 2, 0. Okay, so this here represents the various options that you can have for a change in amplitude.